The second of this three-game series is set to go, and what an opener it was when the Yankees rolled in to face the Blue Jays. Toronto exploded for 8 runs last night and hope to do it again today against Cam Schlittler. So let's take you to the broadcast booth. That's where we find Dan Shulman and Joe Siddall.
Jamie, thank you very much. Kind of your typically tense game between the Blue Jays and Yankees. Couple of big home runs, Joe, for the Blue Jays to get the 8-5 win. The runs might be a little bit tougher to come by today. This is a quality pitching matchup.
Kevin Gausman will try to dominate this Yankee lineup as he has done most recently. A couple of his last starts late in the season last year, and then the division series start against the Yankees in the postseason. And he can do it many different ways, really controlling the left-handed bats in this lineup. He can go fastball heavy and then turn to the splitter. He can stick with the fastball. He can zag when those Yankees hitters are trying to zig against him, but he's also up against a very tough one. The Blue Jays saw Cam Schlittler, the American League ERA leader, earlier this year. It took him a while, but they finally scratched across a couple of runs. He's a tough customer, but the Blue Jays approach, the contact-oriented approach, could really frustrate a pitcher like Schlittler. Hopefully, if they don't get him early, you can get him in the 4th or the 5th or the 6th, but wear him down to eventually get to him.
How about that home run that Kazuma Okamoto hit last night into the 500 level? Just the 10th Blue Jay player ever to do that. He is hitting in the 3 spot today because Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is out of the lineup with some back tightness. More to come. A ball game to come, Jamie. Back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you so much. George Springer homered a night ago. He'll lead things off against the Yankees today on Sportsnet. Spectacular day for a ball game, and we hope you enjoy it.
With Roger.
And strike 3. That's the end of the inning.
Every strikeout is your chance to spin.
Looking for 2 lucky lovers.
Every break is your moment to bet.
Yes!
Every 7th inning stretch is your time to play. When the game stops, yours starts. Every break, pause, game is your game. Bet with Sports Interaction.
BetMGM is where you leave ordinary for something a little more interesting. With your favorite games, like The Price is Right and Rakin' Bacon. Or in the center of it all with live dealer classics. Don't forget to tip your dealer, because interesting leads to exciting, which opens the door to extraordinary. Make it Vegas almost anywhere. BetMGM Casino. Make it legendary.
I finally won courtside tickets to the game, so I went to Moore's. I want to look like I belong.
Follow me. Joseph Aboud, sport coat, dress shirt, denim.
Hope we don't get on the kiss cam.
Me neither.
No, me neither.
Me neither.
When you live with diabetes.
Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. And what a gorgeous Saturday afternoon for a ball game. Glad you're with us for game 2 between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays winning 8-5 last night. Now lead the season series 3-2 against the Yankees. And again, it is a top-notch pitching matchup today. Cam Schlittler, who is the American League leader in ERA for the Yankees. Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays. So look at the lineup for the visiting Yankees. Again, no Aaron Judge. He is on the IL. Cody Bellinger. Very good numbers against the Blue Jays, and here not so much against Gausman. More on that. You see Jason Dominguez is in the lineup for the Yankees today. That's because Trent Grisham, after leaving the game with a hamstring injury last night, went on the IL today. So it is a different looking Yankee lineup for Gausman to try to navigate here this afternoon.
Kevin making his 15th start of the season. The walks continue to be way down, pounding that strike zone. Went 5 innings in Baltimore, but he allowed 4 runs in that 5th inning. He was cruising through 4, including a couple of home runs. Colton Cowser got him on a slider. Taylor Ward got him on a splitter that was up in the zone. He is going to try to get back on track against a team that he has enjoyed some recent success against. Defensively behind Gausman for the Blue Jays this afternoon, Jesus Sanchez will be out in left field. Nathan Lucas gets the start in center. Yohendrick Piñongo will be in right, and on the infield, as usual, Komodo at third, Jimenez at second, Ernie Clement, or at short, Ernie Clement at second, but Charles McAdoo, normally a third baseman coming up for the most part through the minor leagues, he gets the start at first base.
Again, some, I'm sorry, Joe,
Brandon Valenzuela, of course.
Some back tightness for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He started feeling it during the game yesterday. It didn't get any better. Woke up today. Shai Davidi reported it on Blue Jays Central pregame. Wasn't feeling a whole lot better today. Hopefully it is minor and just a day, but Guerrero not in the lineup today. Ben Rice will take a strike to get this ball game underway. With Grisham on the IL, Rice, at least for today, has moved up to the leadoff spot. Big power hitter, 18 homers, 35 extra base hits already. He hits it sharply, and it's going to eat up Clement out at second and get out into right, allowing Rice to reach.
Too hot to handle for Clement at second base. Ball hit hard off the bat of Rice. Bit of a short hop with some top spin, and Ernie cannot come up with it.
And it is an error charge to Clement to begin the ball game. And here comes Jason Dominguez, just recalled from the minors to take Grisham's spot on the roster. He went on the IL over a month ago with a shoulder injury, crashed into the wall. Rehab, was playing some right field with Judge on the IL. He is not normally a right fielder, normally in left, but he is in right field here today for the Yankees. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Back-to-back fastballs to Rice, back-to-back splitters to Dominguez.
Gausman did not face the Yankees in the 4-game series in the Bronx. His was the one spot of the rotation that didn't come up. So for the Yankees, this is the first time this season they are seeing him. But of course, many, if not most, if not all of them have seen him, whether it was in the playoffs last year, in the regular season over the last few years. There's very little mystery between these two, between Gausman and the Yankees. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
This is what Kevin will do. He'll read bats, he'll read approaches, and he'll work with Valenzuela. As I said, he can zig and zag with the best of them and really adjust to what's happening in front of him. Started with the splitters, came back with the fastball.
The lead by Rice. And a splitter down, taken by Dominguez. It's now full. Waiting on deck, Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt behind him. Even without Judge, even without Grisham, there's a lot of power in this lineup. Runner not going, and it's a fly ball lifted to left field. Jesus Sanchez is there to make the play for the first out.
The other thing Kevin will do is move that fastball around. He'll be up in the zone, he'll be down, and always trying to second guess what the hitters are thinking.
So it's interesting when you look at this Yankee lineup. It's without a couple of guys who have done a lot of damage against Gausman. Judge first and foremost. Stanton has hit him some as well, but Gausman has done a great job against some of these big potent left-handed bats, including Cody Bellinger, who in his career, including the postseason game last year, is just 2 for 24 against Gausman.
But as he showed last night, he likes this ballpark, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He is a thorn in the side of the Blue Jays. Gausman at times thought of as a reverse split guy, where that splitter helps him more against left-handed batters than it does righties. Fastball, and that's right there, and it's 0-2, and an early 96 from Gausman today.
Maybe thinking splitter there, the way he took that fastball. He got Trey Savage on a fastball up in the zone last night, just did not execute his pitch.
Splitter, and he got him. Strikes him out on 3 pitches.
That is how you execute the splitter, especially coming after a couple of fastballs. Speed him up a little bit, splitter down.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using code STRIKEOut. 2 down. Here's Paul Goldschmidt hitting in the cleanup spot. And Goldschmidt is the guy more than anybody else on this roster who has had a lot of success against Gausman over the years. 10 for 22, including a home run. Rice still at first, 2 down now. Missing inside, ball 2.
That's what Kevin's done a little bit more to the righties this year, is he's used that fastball in the inside part of the zone. Really frees them up so they can't lean out over for the slider and splitter.
A hot hitter, Goldschmidt, still getting it done. 38 years of age. Chases that high fastball, 2-1. Rice being held on at first by McAdoo. And the 2-1 on the way. And it's hit way up in the air to left. Sanchez coming over towards the line. Makes the catch. The air doesn't do any damage. The side is retired.
Closed captioning is brought.
Bottom of the first on this very sunny Saturday afternoon. George Springer DHing and leading off again here today. Hit a home run in last night's ball game. A look at John Schneider's lineup today. Again, no Guerrero. Okamoto is in the 3 spot today. Just the 10th Blue Jay player to hit a home run into the 500 level here at Rogers Center. Sky Dome Rogers Center going all the way back to 1989. Brandon Valenzuela is catching. Pinyango back in there. McAdoo at first for Guerrero. And a guy who is one of the better starting pitchers in the big leagues, Cam Schlittler.
Just 25 years old. He's in his 2nd season. Schlittler made 14 starts in his rookie year. Last year pitched to an ERA under 3. And this is his 15th start this season. So he surpasses his first season by 1 start. Still low walks, high strikeouts, power, and more power. 3 different fastballs. The 4-seam fastball, the sinker, and he'll throw that cutter. That's what you're going to see most of.
They're all between 95 and 99 as he starts Springer with the strike. Springer used a phrase with me before the game that John Schneider used in our media session earlier today. He said they've got to try to paper cut Schlittler to death. Just be difficult outs, extended bats, put the ball in play. And they have done that in all 4 of the starts against them. Now he's only given up 2 earned runs in 3 of the 4. The other one last September, they knocked him out in the 2nd inning. But you compare his numbers against the Blue Jays to other teams, they've done pretty well. They've gotten the pitch count up. Ground ball, and this could be trouble. Chisholm over to get it, and they just do get Springer. Looked like maybe a little indecision on the Yankee infield as to who was going to go get that ball, but Chisholm got it just in time.
Well, George read this play right away. He sees the first baseman leave. He says, I've got a shot if I just have to beat the pitcher. But then Rice is able to retreat, but he's thinking infield knock right here, doing everything he can to beat it, but they just get him.
So Springer grounds out and hitting in the 2 spot today. As he gives Ernie Clement a little bit of information about Schlittler. Here is Nathan Lucas. Lucas went 1 for 4 last night, so he's now had a hit in 15 of 16 games since coming off the IL.
Blue Jays will see a lot of pitches up in the zone today from Schlittler, too, the righties and the lefties. Lefties, a lot of up and away right there.
Andy's 6'6". Andy's got good extension. Andy throws 98. But we talked about his first 4 starts against the Blue Jays, a total of 19 innings, and they got 28 hits off him in 19 innings against a pitcher of this caliber. Scored 10 runs off him in those 4 starts. So Again, he's been pretty good, especially in 3 of the 4, but they have been in every game. They have made him work in every game.
And that's what you have to do. Did you see his reaction right there after that foul ball from Nathan Lucas? He took his time. He was facing center field. He didn't turn around for a while to get that ball back from the catcher, which is when the pitch clock starts.
Swing and a miss. That's the cutter there, and it's 2-2. So the cutter running a little bit in on a lefty, the sinker away, the four-seamer straighter, more true. There's the high fastball, and he gets Lucas swinging, 2 down. And that'll bring up Okamoto, and if you didn't see it live, I'm sure you saw it later, because it was the home run that everybody was talking about last night.
He got a breaking ball down and in from Weathers, and did he ever punish this baseball all the way up into the 500 level. A lot of people had that reaction right there.
Vladdy says, "You've been lifting, huh?" The funny thing is, of the 14 home runs he's hit this year, according to StatCast, that was only the 5th longest. It's just that he hit it right down the line, so he got it up on the 500 level. But he's hit 4 that measured more than 423, but they were more to left center, straightaway center. So you don't get that wow factor of it landing in the upper deck.
That was a bit more of a majestic shot.
Yes.
It certainly looked good, but there is some tremendous power in his bat.
And now home plate umpire Ramon De Jesus is giving catcher J.C. Escara a moment. Took a foul ball off the mask. He hit it right up in there. I think the second, maybe third row, and just to the right of the foul pole.
It was just a matter of staying fair, and it did.
A ball and a strike. Very high, ball 2. Schlittler is a Massachusetts native and actually grew up a big Red Sox fan, but quickly went to the other side of the rivalry once he was drafted by the Yankees.
With the Yankees?
Yeah.
That must have been tough.
He's fallen behind 3-1 on Okamoto. In there with a strike, now full. If it continues, Jesus Sanchez will get a look at him. And he strikes out Okamoto. The high fastball again. So 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts in the first for Schlittler. Good weather took a while getting here this year, but now that it has arrived, it looks like it is going to stick around for a while. What a gorgeous afternoon here in downtown Toronto, and this bird's eye view is provided by WestJet, the official airline of the Toronto Blue Jays.
It's a beautiful view in the daytime. It's a beautiful view in the evening. What a shot of this spectacular ballpark.
No score going to the top of the second, middle game of 3. The Yankees at 41-27 in a virtual tie atop the division with the Rays, who lost last night as well. The Blue Jays at 34-36 in third place, 8 games back. And here's Jazz Chisholm Jr., the second baseman. In his career, just 1 for 15 against Gausman. The one was a base hit in the division series a season ago. Okamoto in at third, and the pitch inside of the knees. Gausman falls behind 2-0. 30-30 guy a year ago, Chisholm. 31 homers, 31 steals.
Dangerous hitter.
Yes, he is.
Got off to a slow start this season, but it's been coming around lately.
Got fooled there by the splitter. 2-1. So Guerrero with some back tightness, not in the lineup today. Alejandro Kirk, who started last night, not in the lineup today as well. And John Schneider made it clear long before Kirk came back to the roster, they're not going to run him into the ground early. They want to, kind of maybe ease back in isn't the way to say it, but they don't want to overwork him too early. And part of that is the confidence that they have developed in Brandon Valenzuela. Now full count on Chisholm.
And Cam Slittler is tough on righties and lefties. He's just a tough customer all around. But for Alejandro to take a day, this is probably not a bad day. And I don't doubt we may see his bat before this day is done.
Full count. And a foul off on that fastball. Good spot by Gausman. Not much that Chisholm could do with it other than foul it off. I wonder if Chisholm is asking about catcher's interference or something. He's looking back to the dugout as if maybe they should have a look at something. I wonder if he thought maybe there was catcher's interference, but it doesn't look like there's anything coming.
Ramon DeJesus was definitely looking over to the Yankees dugout.
Got him. Gausman to the splitter for out number 1.
Well, that was set up earlier in the at-bat, and a hitter will tell you a lot. Jazz didn't look good on the earlier ones. You come back and finish them off with the same pitch.
Boy, and he missed that by a fair bit as well. Second strikeout for Gausman, and here's Spencer Jones, the rookie outfielder, playing center again today. It's a two-hopper out to Clement, down to a knee, back to his feet, on to first, 2 down. A lot of left-handed bats, 7 to be exact in this Yankee lineup. But again, that splitter can actually help Gausman more against lefties than righties oftentimes. Even Aaron Boone used the phrase, quote, "We think of Gausman," Anya Savage, he said, as neutral to reverse guys. And it's because of the splitters.
And those are big outs right there, too. If you can get a first pitch swing from a guy and really help your pitch count throughout the course of an afternoon.
Here's Jose Caballero. Had a good game last night. 2 for 3 with a walk. At shortstop again today for the Yankees. And for some reason taking all the way on the 1-0, and it's there at the knees for a strike.
You might just want to see Gausman's pitches. Sometimes hitters will do that if the timing is a little bit off as they initiate their trigger.
Gausman in front, 1-2. Caballero's had a good season so far for the Yankees, and he's had success against Gausman. 5 for 10 with a couple of doubles. Boy, when the hitter calls timeout, Gausman has to start the between pitch routine again, and it's identical all the time from pitch to pitch. He had to do it twice there because Caballero used his timeout. He's got the good splitter today. That one going straight down as he buries Caballero. 3 up, 3 down second with a couple of strikeouts for Kevin Gausman.
Then done his part. Over their last 40 games, Valenzuela leads the team in OBP, on base plus slug, weighted runs created plus, which measures a hitter's overall offensive value, and wins above replacement. Alejandro Kirk has been really impressed by Valenzuela. The two are in constant communication, whether it's about hitting or advice on game calling. "I'm really happy for his success," Kirk said about the rookie's accomplishments. "I like the way he can control his emotions when he plays." Valenzuela's quiet confidence, Dan, which we see from Kirk, will serve him well in the big leagues. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. No question they have grown close. They met last year, have gotten to know each other much better. Valenzuela told me a couple of weeks ago a lot of texting back and forth with Kirk as Valenzuela would reach out for, a tip here and a tip there. And again, the playing time could be pretty close to 50-50 in the early going, and we'll wait and see. A little bit of talk that each of them might now and again wind up in the DH spot. We'll see how that plays out. What a return Kirk had last night.
Wow.
3 for 3, 2 singles, a double, a walk, and a successful ABS challenge on the very first pitch of the ball game, because of course he would.
Well, we talked early in the game about, I asked John Schneider about that yesterday, about the impact a hitter can have on your entire lineup, and it's his presence, it's his approach at the plate, the discipline, the at-bat that he gives you, and other hitters can see that, and you hope that can spread around. But they had a lot of good at-bats last night.
And Sanchez will chase a rare curveball from Schlittler. Almost everything he throws is one of his fastballs, but against Sanchez, if you didn't see it last night, here's what Alejandro Kirk was up to in his return. That's an RBI double in his first at bat to give the Blue Jays a lead in the first inning. Lined a base hit to left in the third, drove in a run with a base hit in the fifth, walked his fourth time up, just had a great night.
And oh, by the way, caught a winner. That is how I always put the exclamation mark on a good day for a catcher. What a great job he does behind the dish, trying to get through those 5+ innings with Trey Savage, but more importantly, the bullpen work.
Ernie Clement, the batter. Clement 2 for 5, a single, a double, an RBI last night to double his American League leading 20th on the season. Takes a strike, 1-1. Ernie's OPS is about 80 points higher now than where it was at the end of last season. He's pushing 800 right now. League average is about 705. And he shoots it into right for a base hit.
Ernie can hit a lot of pitches, but he can really hit the fastball. We just saw that before that pitch, that graphic up there, and he is all over this. You mentioned earlier, Dan, we talked between innings. They got to get Schlittler down a little bit. He pitches at the top part of the zone. When he is more in that middle range, that's when you got to get it, and Ernie did.
Yeah, above the belt, up at the letters, virtually impossible to get him with his velocity. A peek at Clement. Here's Valenzuela. And a fastball for a strike. Valenzuela was in the lineup against Schlittler in New York back on May the 20th. Just foul. I don't know if you remember there was the game where he got a bunt down for a sacrifice, and then later in the game had a bunt single. That was this game. The Blue Jays didn't get anything off Schlittler for 6 innings, and then in the 7th it was a Clement infield hit, a Sanchez walk, a Valenzuela bunt single to load the bases, and then an Andres Jimenez 11-pitch plate appearance to draw a walk and push across the first pitch of the game. Is now Valenzuela looks at strike 3 called. They didn't hit him hard, but they kind of paper cutted him a little bit in the 7th, scratched out a couple of runs and won 2-1.
That Jimenez plate appearance, you said it was 11 pitches. He fouled 7 pitches off. I mean, it is really, I think, the best descriptor for how you have to perform against Cam Schlittler. You have to just keep grinding him out, making him work, and more importantly, frustrating a pitcher out there. It does.
And so far, and it's early, but they haven't really done that today. He's faced 6 batters. He has struck out 4 of them. The other 2, Springer a ground out, and then the Clement single. He's still at first as Piñango steps in.
Little slide step right there. You'll see Schlittler do that on occasion, altering his delivery. Does a pretty good job at controlling that running game.
A guy who, when he came out of college, was throwing about 90s, put on about 25 pounds, gotten stronger, refined his mechanics, and he's going to be in the All-Star game this year. Up and in with the cutter, the appeal, but he didn't go, and it's 1-1.
You can imagine how challenging that can be for the hitter when Schlittler does this. He abbreviates that delivery, a bit of a slide step or a quicker move to the plate, because that alters your move as a hitter as you get loaded. So now you become a little rushed.
Right back to the cutter. It's 1-2. Almost everything is a power pitch. Again, a rare curveball to strike out Jesus Sanchez, but almost everything is one of his 3 fastballs. Mark Budzinski looking at his stopwatch, now going over to Ernie Clement to give him the latest info on how long it takes Schlittler to come to the plate. Full count now on Pinango, which means Clement's going to be on the move, and Rice is letting Schlittler know he's coming off the bag to play behind the runner. McAdoo on deck, hoping for an opportunity here this inning. There goes Clement, and it's down and in, ball 4. So the inning will continue. Get a runner into scoring position, get that pitch count up a little bit more, get closer to turning the lineup over. Let's see, they've done all that. Let's see if they can do a little bit more. If McAdoo can come up with a base hit, try to get Clement home. McAdoo 3 for 16 in his brief major league career. Check the swing. He wanted to swing, but he held up just in the nick of time.
Well, anything Ernie can do at second base to distract Schlittler, because he did that. He gave Ernie a long look. See Jazz Chisholm in the back, waving him to say, go ahead and throw the ball.
McAdoo has drawn some tough assignments. It's not as simple as he's in against lefties, he's not against righties. He hasn't played all the time against lefties, and Guerrero a day off today, a DH day the other day. He's faced Zach Wheeler and Cam Schlittler in the last few days. Now to play right side, 1-2. We will assume that Guerrero is down for the day with back tightness. Hopefully back in there tomorrow. And a little chopper towards third. He's got a chance to beat this out, and he will without a throw.
This is how you do it. Contact-oriented offense. Just try to keep being a thorn in his side, frustrating the Yankees starting pitcher, hopefully.
Remember, after the last game, and now Schlittler is going to get a visit from Matt Blake, and maybe Blake sensing a little frustration. Schlittler can get frustrated sometimes, and after the last game against the Yankees, Schlittler and Shine Hazel talked about this pregame. One of Schlittler's comments was, those Blue Jays BABIP the you-know-what out of me. And BABIP means batting average on balls in play. And what he's saying there is they didn't hit it hard. They just kind of got lucky and had some bleeders and grounders and stuff that went as hits. That kind of hit. Now they got the bases loaded with 2 outs. And we'll see if Jimenez can really frustrate Schlittler.
Well, Ernie hit a shot into right center. Pinango walked. Now McAdoo dribbles one up the third base line. See if Jimenez can't get the first scoring in this game. From an offensive perspective in the Blue Jays dugout, this is what you like to see from your hitters, and the reaction from the Yankees pitcher.
And especially down in the order. Number 7 guy, a rookie, Pinango, takes a good walk. Number 8 guy, McAdoo, a rookie, makes contact as Jimenez fouled it back. That is one of the rare fastballs from Schlittler that was not right up at the top or even above the top of the zone. long look back at the runner at second, and the 0-1 is grounded to the right side. Chisholm has it, though, and the inning is over. They load him up, but they leave him on. Folks, Phase 1 voting for the All-Star Game this year in Philadelphia. It's open now through June 25th, and fans can vote up to 5 times per day. Cast your vote today at bluejays.com/vote. That guy, Ernie Clement, sure to be getting a lot of votes, and without a shadow of a doubt, deserves a lot of consideration to be the starter at second base for the American League in the All-Star Game. Ryan McMahon, the Yankee third baseman, leads it off and takes a strike from Gausman. Through 2, only 1 base runner, and that was on an error. Gausman has retired the other 6, including 3 by strikeout. McMahon was hitting 183 45 games into the season, hitting just about 300 since. Just in. The appeal by Valenzuela did not go, says third base ump and crew chief John Tumpane, and it's 3-1. And outside, ball 4, a leadoff walk here in the top of the third.
Get game-changing internet and Canada's most reliable internet. Rogers Xfinity. We got you.
Welcome back to the ballpark on this beautiful Saturday. Dan Shulman, Joe Siddall, Hazel May. No score, top 3. Here's J.C. Escarra, the catcher and number 9 hitter for the Yankees, who looks at a strike. Escarra got the start last night as well. Went 1 for 2 before being lifted for a pinch hitter.
I don't know that every catcher wears that little armband that they use for catching while they're hitting. Feel like you've seen that before?
On it, where is it? On his left forearm?
Left forearm.
You think
yes.
he just forgot to take it off?
Maybe. I don't know. It's kind of bulky, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you forget that? Might just keep it on.
Swings through it, 1-2. Caballero and the Yankees off to a good start this year in spite of some injuries. Fried's out now. Cole just came back. Judge on the IL. They're playing well. Fly ball to center field. Lucas back a couple of steps into the shadows to make the catch for out number 1.
And on that injury front, it sounds like Giancarlo Stanton had a little bit of a setback in his rehab. Nothing too major that he's going to stop activities, but Aaron Boone thought maybe next week he may see him, but that could be delayed.
And now Trent Grisham just went on the IL today with a hamstring injury, but we saw him doing some light running and doing some stuff on the field today, so they feel it won't be too long, but that's another key player. Here's Ben Rice. Swing and a miss right over the top of a splitter. 0-1. That's right about where Gausman wants it. Make it look like it might be a strike at the bottom of the zone, and then make it disappear straight down. Kind of like that. Appeal again, but this time he didn't go.
Rice got back-to-back fastballs in that first at-bat before he hit that shot one hopper at Clement that rolled into right field. Kevin going back-to-back splitters here. Always mixing it up. Get the hitter guessing. Don't let them try to predict where you're going.
which is more important for him because he is basically a two-pitch guy. He does have a slider. He's only thrown one of them today. He doesn't throw it as much against lefties as he does against righties, and the Yankees have 7 left-handed batters, so that slider may not be much of a factor at all in this game. Got him. Another good splitter for his 4th strikeout of the afternoon.
Ben Rice hammers fastballs. He's pretty good on off-speed pitches as well, but this is not just any old off-speed pitch. This is the splitter from Kevin Gausman, and it's a good one.
That side shot is a great view at how that ball drops on its way to the plate.
The trajectory of the pitch, and he sends a lot of hitters back to the dugout shaking their heads.
Runner going, throw down the tag, and they got him. Valenzuela to Jimenez, putting the tag on Ryan McMahon. Thrown out to set the Yankees down in the top of the 3rd. Well, one of the many tools possessed by young Brandon Valenzuela is an extremely strong arm. Joe, what'd you think of this?
Well, he comes out of his crouch a little bit early, too, from the one knee stance. When the catcher knows the runner is going, they'll lift the one knee, so he starts, these right knees on the ground. It's up now. So by the time he's moving to the baseball, he's already gotten a head start. The arm speaks for itself. Just watch with your own eyes. That is a cannon.
I'll tell you who had good reflexes on that one. That was Kevin Gausman. Gausman was getting down in a hurry once he saw that the runner was going, when he saw Valenzuela pop out of his crouch.
With an arm like that, there's not a lot of air under the throws from Kevin Gausman or from Brandon Valenzuela. That is on a line. Yeah. What a tag by Jimenez.
So Gausman drops and spins so he can watch the play out at second base. 1-1 the count on George Springer. The Blue Jays now starting to see Schlittler's second time around. Springer grounded out to begin the bottom of the 1st. Last night went 1 for 2 with a home run and also walked 3 times. By the way, that home run last night, career number 299 for George Springer. On the verge of a pretty impressive milestone. That one ran in on him. Jammed him with a 2-seamer. 1 down as we send it down to field level in Hazel May.
Dan, John Schneider told me there is a fine line between being aggressive against Schlittler and being patient because he does throw strikes. Now, as Dan mentioned earlier, he has those 3 different fastballs, all with good velo. So Schneider said you're trying to cover areas, trying to wear him down, draw some walks, get timely hits, drive up that pitch count, and then get him out of the ballgame. Dan.
That would be plan A. Get him out of there as quickly as you can. Thank you, Hazel. And again, John Schneider and George Springer separately, without knowing the other one had used the phrase, both used the term paper cut. One guy said paper cut him to death. One guy said death by 1,000 paper cuts. But that's the game plan. Be annoying up there, deep at bats, and get that pitch count up.
And I'm sure that's the theme of the meeting when you're gathering to talk about what his stuff does and how he's going to try to approach you. And guys like Nathan Lucas can really implement that game plan by making him work, fouling pitches off.
When you see fastball usage there, that includes the 4-seamer, the 2-seamer, and the cut fastball. Well, you can even jump on the catcher. They made him work in the 2nd. A couple of hits and a walk to load the bases, but stranded them. Clement got that inning started, or had a 1-out single at the bottom of the 2nd. Well, he's making some good pitches. That's the cutter. So the sinker runs a little bit in on Springer. He jams him. The cutter runs a little bit in on Lucas. He jams him.
It is a true cut fastball because it's not quite as hard as his regular fastball, but it's got that little bit of movement. It's to cut away from a righty to get toward the end of his bat, or to cut in on the hands of a lefty, and that's exactly what it did to Lucas.
So 2 down, and here's Okamoto, who struck out in the 1st.
This is a fun matchup if you're a baseball fan. Absolute power versus power. And we've seen what Okamoto has done to some fastballs this season.
Can't catch up to that one. A little bit up and in. It's 0-2. Hit hard down the left field line, and it is gone. A screaming line drive down the left field line as Okamoto turns around a 98-mile-an-hour two-seamer for his 15th home run of the season.
Power versus power. Are you a baseball fan? Because if you are, this is fun to watch. Cam Schlittler is not fooling around. He's not going to many secondary pitches. It's going to be the heat, and Okamoto was ready for the heat.
And now Sanchez goes after the first pitch, pops it up. That will end the inning, but the Blue Jays have the first run of the afternoon. You just talked about Okamoto liking a good fastball. He got a good one, turned it around and lined it right on out of here. His 15th of the season. What you like best about this swing?
Well, the very first swing of the at-bat was a four-seam fastball up and in, and he came out of his shoes and took a great hack at it. We talked yesterday a little bit how Okamoto opens up with his swing. He strides open, the hips open up. So anything middle in, that's what he's got a shot against. When pitchers have had success, it's usually something breaking away, going away from him. But he is ready for that heater, and he was all over it.
Providing power to a team that needs it. A two-run home run last night, a solo shot today. The Blue Jays now lead 1-0 top four. Here's Jason Dominguez. And he'll look at a fastball over the outside edge for a strike. Coming a little bit low. Gausman has been sharp. He is not allowed to hit. There's been an error and a walk, but that base runner on the walk was thrown out trying to steal. And he just keeps getting swings and misses at his splitter. They have now swung at 10 splitters today, and they have missed all 10. That's remarkable.
It is remarkable, and that tells you the deception of that pitch, the way he is making it look a lot like his fastball. Great arm speed.
So that's the first one they made contact on, and he hit it foul. There you can see 37% whiff rate, whiff being swing and a miss on the season on the splitter. Which, by the way, is really good.
Yeah. Once in a while, it'll get away from him like that one right there, and that's just not competitive at all. But his good one is going to have a little bit of down, a little bit away from these left-handed hitters.
The 2-2 to Dominguez, and it's sent foul down the left field line.
Now he tried to come inside with that fastball. The target from Valenzuela was tucked up and in there, and that ball came all the way back across the plate because of his release point, his delivery. His ball generally has that natural arm side movement.
Very high with the fastball. It's full. Love to get this guy. You got Bellinger next and then Goldschmidt. Hooked down the right field line. and he's hit it well, and he's hit it out. A splitter that Gausman left up in the middle of the zone, and Dominguez lines it out of here to right field to tie the game.
Similar to the splitter that he left up in the zone to Taylor Ward against the Orioles in his last start, Ward being a right-hand hitter. But you see he missed a couple earlier in the at-bat, went to the fastballs, tried to come in twice, didn't really execute those, so he thought he'd go back with the splitter. If he executes his pitch, he's probably in great shape, but he did not at all, and Dominguez made him pay.
Now Bellinger is swinging a miss, and it's 0-1. Bellinger striking out in the first. Second home run of the season for Dominguez, who again has spent some time in the minors and on the IL this year. Off the end of the bat, 0-2. Fouled off. It went down into the dirt, came up and hit the bat of Bellinger again, but he was still in the box, so it's just a foul ball.
This is what that splitter will do. Look how awkward that swing is.
Hit his arm on the way up.
So fooled.
Yep. Lines it to left. Sanchez the catch.
Get ready for epic action on the big screen this summer with Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock and Jason Momoa, in theaters June 26th.
Beautiful day here in downtown Toronto, and glad you're with us. Game 2 of 3. The Yankees and Blue Jays tied at 1. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. To right center field, actually got it off the end of the bat. Didn't go as far as Nathan Lucas initially thought it was going to go. He surrounds it and makes the catch. 2 down.
Well, Nathan Lucas is about the only defender in the field that's standing in the shade right now. He's out in center field, and you can imagine what the shadow is like. The ball's coming out of the sunshine. He backs up. Normally it's your first reaction when you see a big hitter like Goldschmidt square a baseball up, but he's able to make the adjustment.
So Varsho on the IL, Straw not in the lineup today. Lucas, of course, very capable out in center. He'll get a lot of time there against right-handers with Varsho out for a little bit. Here's Chisholm. He struck out. I think all 3 swings and misses were on splitters in the Chisholm at bat in the second. 2-0 here.
You may have to throw a few fastballs, but keep that splitter in your memory bank for the next time. This is what starting pitchers will do. They know they're planning on navigating a lineup 3 times, so you don't want to get too predictable.
Just off the outside corner, 3-0.
Kevin's got to get that fastball, the four-seam fastball, back in the zone. I think that's critical. We talked about that last night with Hugh Savage, because that's what sets up your secondary pitch for them, mainly the splitter.
Chisholm is challenging, and he's taken off the gear, getting ready to go down to first.
Jazz.
Come on, Jazz. This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. The entire ball is within the strike zone, and Chisholm had taken off the shin guard and was heading down to first base.
I'm glad John Schneider thought it was funny, because I did too.
I doubt Aaron Boone thinks it's funny.
Of course not. But that's Jazz Chisholm. You just never know what you might get from him. He's an entertainer.
I don't think Aaron Boone found that entertaining.
No. He has to watch every day.
No, that's ball 4. Just outside, no challenge from Valenzuela, and now Chisholm is aboard. A 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Spencer Jones. Walks can always hurt you, but they can hurt you more against the Yankees than most teams. They draw a lot of walks. They hit a lot of home runs. Those are two big parts of their offense. And that one just down and in. Thought Valenzuela might challenge that, but it's ball one to Spencer Jones. To center field, charging is Lucas, and he's there. All tied up at 1 going to the bottom of the 4th. A little bit about his all-star candidacy, and here is why. Among American League second basemen, he is leading them in a lot of important stuff, including batting average, doubles, slugging percentage, strikeout percentage. A lot of teams, a fair number of teams in the American League, don't even have a regular second baseman. It's more of a platoon spot or utility spot. If you look at some of the other second basemen who could be considered for a spot in the All-Star game, Jazz Chisholm Jr. would be on the list. Chase Mydroth of the White Sox, Cole Young of the Mariners, but there's no like Jose Altuve in his prime kind of guy out there right now. Ernie deserves to be there.
And this is Ernie's type of pitcher. He likes the heater. He's an excellent fastball hitter. He knows his role is to make sure you stay on the fastball, and he's done a good job of that.
Hits it hard to center field, but right at Jones for out number 1.
Remember last year when it was early, I think, when Ernie was having some struggles at the plate, is because he was starting to get more and more spin, more breaking pitches, and he started looking for them, and he finally said, I've got to be myself, stay on the fastball and adjust. That's when he's at his best, and he knows himself better than anyone.
And so you're going to live with the odd at bat where it doesn't look great, or you expect hard contact and he might pop one up, but he's hitting 300, got an OPS close to 800. Has one of the lowest strikeout percentages in the American League. I mean, he's having a great year.
Yep. And still handling the secondary pitches as well, so he's just in that perfect little spot.
Here's Valenzuela, who was called out on strikes his first time up. Third full season with the Blue Jays for Ernie Clement. Mostly third base last year, almost exclusively second base this year, and even building upon the numbers he put up a season ago. Well, Schlittler looked like he wanted to challenge. He tapped his hat, but either Ramon de Jesus didn't see it or it didn't come in time. But Schlittler, well, they're going to give it to him now.
That was delayed.
It took de Jesus a long time to grant it, and it's a ball. And guess what? The New York Yankees are out of challenges in the 4th inning. Chisholm used one, and now Schlittler used one. Chisholm, by the way, I looked it up during the break, is 4 for 15 challenging pitches this year.
At some point, does his manager not allow it? I guess you can't control it if he's out in the batter's box. I'm sure he'd like to.
There's ball 4. We have seen a couple of games earlier this year where the Blue Jays ran out of challenges in the 3rd or 4th inning. Remember, Valenzuela, I think, had 2 failed challenges in 1 inning. And it's not what your manager wants, whether it's John Schneider or Aaron Boone. This could come back to cost the Yankees a little bit later on. And they both happened in what I think you would have to say is low leverage, right? Nobody on base, fairly early in the game. Here's Piñango. Pitchers are not challenging much at all. And what they saw in the minors last year, and they're seeing it in the majors this year, pitchers have the lowest success rate on challenges. Catchers the best, then hitters, and pitchers bringing up the rear. Pinango's looked pretty comfortable so far against Schlittler.
He's another one that is handling the fastball, and that's what you want to do when you come up from the minor leagues. And of course, the league will continue to challenge you more with the secondary pitches. But a pitcher like Schlittler, you're not getting a whole lot of curveball slider action. Everything's hard. He's got a right-hander on the mound, and he throws a lot of fastballs. Good matchup.
Valenzuela the lead. I mean, most guys don't even foul that off. That is a tough one to go after when it's coming in at 98, but he did get a piece of it. He's got some plate coverage, or above the plate coverage. Down the left field line, but it'll wind up in the seats out of play. But again, if anything, maybe just driving up that pitch count a little bit. Next one is 60 already. The game within the game.
Again, these are the at-bats we're talking about, right? They might not be great pitches, but you're fouling them off. I mean, ideally, you're not swinging at these pitches out of the zone, but if you do, keep your at-bat alive. It's
up and away.
So easy to sit here and watch and say, no, don't swing at those pitches. Don't swing at those pitches. But when the guy's got 97 to 100, and that pitch at the top of the zone to a lot of hitters, it looks more middle. It looks like it's closer to, because it's closer to your eyes. It looks so good.
Fair ball down the line and into the corner. Valenzuela will be held. What an at-bat for Pinango. He's got a double.
Keep doing it, boys. This is the plan against a good pitcher like Cam Schlittler. Keep battling, keep getting the barrel to the baseball. This one above the zone also. But he's got a very flat swing. You see how flat his bat comes across the zone to get to that high pitch. That's just a beautiful piece of hitting.
Bellinger got it back in quickly enough to prevent Valenzuela from trying to score. So it is second and third, one out for Charles McAdoo, who had an infield hit his first time up. And that's caught out at second by Chisholm. A liner off the bat of McAdoo that seemed to be headed to right center, but a great diving catch by Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Well, Charles McAdoo did the right thing. He's looking for a pitch early in the count that he can handle and hits it hard. What a play by Jazz Chisholm. Fully extended, saving a couple of runs potentially.
Yeah, one for sure, maybe two. Looked like it was headed to right center. A big second out. Chisholm taking a little bit of time to put himself back together. The infield can back up now with two outs.
That sinker from Schlittler can jam a right-handed batter because of that movement, but he thought he had that ball into the outfield.
Here's Jimenez, who was up with the bases loaded and two outs in the second and grounded out. Everybody backed up with the exception of McMahon at third, even with the bag. Valenzuela the runner at third, Pinango at second.
It's a good example of why this game is called the game of inches, because it's a matter of inches that ball is over the glove of Chisholm and into the outfield.
Yep. As you can see, Jimenez has been productive in these kinds of spots so far this year. Fouled it back, 1-2. McAdoo hit it pretty well, just couldn't squeeze it by Chisholm into the outfield. Chisholm may still be working something out. Might have maybe come down awkwardly on that left arm or done something to his shoulder. This is popped up back of the plate, And it'll wind up in the seats. Boy, Escara must have lost that one or made an assumption that it was in the seats, and then it only wound up in the second row.
Escara had no idea where this baseball was, but the mistake he makes is when you don't know where the baseball is, you look for help. Turn back and look right at your pitcher. He'll point to it. He's looking at the stands. There's nobody there to help you. That ball could have landed right there on the turf in front of him, and he would have had no idea. You got to look for help.
Again, the 1-2, and a swing and a miss. Twice today, Schlittler has retired Jimenez with the men on. It is still 1-1. The Carolina Hurricanes are just one win away from the Stanley Cup. And now the series is back to Vegas. The Golden Knights trying to stay alive on home ice. Don't miss Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. Tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Sportsnet. Good game so far here today. It is tied at 1. The Blue Jays have had the vast majority of the chances. Kevin Gausman has only allowed 1 hit, but that was a home run by Jason Dominguez. The Blue Jays, meanwhile, have had 4 hits, a lot of base runners, but they've left 5 men on already. Top 5 in the bottom third of the order, beginning with shortstop Jose Caballero. Caballero getting the start at short for the second game in a row. Anthony Volpe on the bench again today for the Yankees. The two of them have been kind of sharing shortstop recently. Caballero's versatility means that Aaron Boone's going to move him around. He's had him out on the outfield a little bit. They just lost Grisham, but they brought up Dominguez, so Caballero, who's a natural infielder, plays the outfield sometimes. As Guerrero getting some thoughts here from Jose Ministral. Again, Vladdy out of the lineup today, experiencing back tightness yesterday. That did not really feel better this morning. Shai Davidi reported before the game, so not in the lineup. And as we all know, Vladdy likes to play. He does not like to miss a game. Foul up the first baseline. And backs are funny, right? You can wake up the next day and it feels great, or you cannot. You just never quite know with a back.
When you see a hitter wincing like that throughout the course of an at-bat in that game last night, you knew something might have been up. And John Schneider talked to Vladdy right after the game last night. Thought about the day today.
Strike 3 called. Number 5 for Gausman. And here are a couple of moments in last night's game. This is the double by Guerrero. It came in the 5th inning, but look at the grimace there up the first baseline. And then this is a swing and a miss in the 8th, and that facial expression even a little bit more pronounced from Guerrero. We'll assume it's day to day until told otherwise. But it's like, you know, Kirk comes back, Varsho goes on the IL. Now Vladdy's out for a day. Hopefully it's just that, but I think John Schneider just keeps imagining, dreaming about putting the band back together, getting everybody in the lineup at the same time. Haven't been able to do it yet. Pete Walker, Max Scherzer, Drew Butera, catching coach behind them. And a 2-1 count on Ryan McMahon, the third baseman for the Yankees. Springer will lead off the bottom half of the inning. You can see as a DH how much more time you've got. There's one out here in the top of the 5th. Everybody else is out on the field, but George is the DH, can get the gear together, catch his breath, check the iPad, get a game plan going.
And George is doing it regularly, so I'm sure he has his routine, but it's tough for some guys if you're playing a position normally and then you alter your routine.
Who's going to get to this one? It will be Sanchez, who got a very late break on that one. Jimenez going way out. We've seen a couple of situations like that with Pinango in left, and now again Sanchez a little bit slow to get in. You can see he broke back but made up the ground.
And I'm sure if you're Andres Jimenez, you were just scared to death out there, because it looked like Sanchez was going to have this as a routine ball to shallow left field, but he wasn't coming initially. And then Jimenez says, I got to go after it, but then he peels off to avoid a collision. I don't want to run into that guy.
In almost all cases, it's got to be the outfielder taking charge. A much easier play coming in.
Yeah, and if you do misread the ball, you're yelling help, help, help immediately, and then your shortstop knows to go out and help you. But don't ask for help and then run me over.
Just off the corner, a ball and a strike on the Yankee catcher J.C. Escarra. With Sanchez and Pinango both in the game, obviously they are giving up something defensively. This is not their best group. Straw's not in there today. Varsho's on the IL. Here's another ball in the air. This one shallow left center, and this will be Lucas to make the catch. And it's a 3-up, 3-down, top of the 5th. Let's get an update with Jamie Campbell. This inning, when the Blue Jays get ahead, you could win big with Rogers Beyond the Sea. It's another huge crowd here at Rogers Center. 41,596 last night. Possibly even more than that here today. Every nook and cranny of this ballpark is jammed.
What a day for a ball game. What a pitching matchup, and what a game it's turned out to be here.
And it'll be George Springer to lead it off. Top of the order, Springer, Lucas, and Okamoto. Okamoto with a home run down the left field line in the 3rd, accounting for the Blue Jays' only run today. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Through 4, Schlittler has allowed 4 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out 5. Upstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
I think you can define him as a max effort pitcher. Yeah. There is no finesse there. Unleashing everything that comes out of his hand.
And he doesn't have a changeup.
No.
It's almost all fastballs. The odd slider, a rare curveball, but nothing like a changeup or a splitter.
He needs a 96-mile-an-hour changeup like Louis Varland.
Right.
Just to change it up.
Boy, was Louis something. Matt Blake, pitching coach for the Yankees, looking on. How about the job Varland did last night? That is high. The appeal didn't go, so it's a leadoff walk for Springer.
And that is a good take by George Springer. Such a tough pitch to lay off. Gets the free pass.
Now Lucas 0 for 2. McMahon even with the bag, but well off the line at 3rd. The middle infielders at double play depth as Springer draws a throw.
Good thing Ben Rice is a former catcher, because I think he threw it 99 to first base.
Do pitchers always try to get a 4-seam grip on the throw over to first?
There's no reason not to, right? Because the ball's in your glove or in your hand before you throw over, and you know you're doing it.
The last thing you want as a first baseman is some tail on that ball, right?
And that can happen with some infielders. Yeah. Ground ball, and the shortstop has to rush it, and you don't quite get the throw. Catchers do it. There's so many times you throw like a changeup down to second base because you're rushing and you don't quite get your grip. Now
2-0 on Lucas. We say this a lot about Nathan Lucas. He understands the game. He understands his job. He understands time and score, if you will.
Really understands how to frustrate pitchers.
Yeah.
just a tenacious at bat, one after another.
Ball 3, and remember the Yankees are out of challenges, so it doesn't matter if it was or it wasn't. Chisholm lost one, and then Schlittler lost one.
You said that could play big in this game. I think it's going to play big in this game. Absolutely.
See if Lucas is taking here. He takes high, ball 4, and the first 2 have reached. And here comes Matt Blake again. You think this is a talk about his mechanics or his mindset?
I think it's a little bit of mechanical, just to kind of get back into it here. I'm sure they're always dealing with the mindset issue with Cam Schlittler. He kind of wears his heart on his sleeve out there. But get him focused, mentally sure, but more importantly, get him mechanically back where he needs to be.
He talked a little bit about Blue Jay fans yesterday, and it's all in good fun. It was nothing bad, but he said, quote, they're easy to rage bait. He said they're very passionate. You know, they kind of kicked our butts last year in the playoffs. You're playing against a whole country. It's a full ballpark. Like, almost all of it was just, you know, good fun and stuff. But he kind of likes it. We've seen it with Boston, too, again, being from Massachusetts. He likes kind of making it him against the other team or him against the other fan base. And I'm sure that helps him more often than it hurts him.
And it could be his own way of motivating himself.
Right.
Clearly, he's got everything to back it up. And he admitted, hey, this is the team the Blue Jays knocked us out of the playoffs.
Here's Okamoto, who homered in his last at bat. And that's just low. Ball 1. And the bullpen is getting up here in the 5th inning. Paul Blackburn just starting to throw. On the corner. Wow. Okamoto does not challenge. Looked like it may have been outside. Okamoto has not been an aggressive challenger this year.
It's interesting that he got that call from Ramon de Jesus when he has not been on the plate.
Ground ball to the left side to second one, on to first. They turn it. Well, the Blue Jays want to have a look. We'll see if John Schneider is looking back. But as of now, it is a double play in a big spot for Cam Schlittler and the Yankees, and there will be no challenge.
Well, Okamoto beat out a couple of them last night. A little bit of trouble by Chisholm there, getting the ball out of his glove, but just in time to the first baseman. Wow.
Very close, but did look like he was out. So it's a runner at third, 2 down all of a sudden for Sanchez. Boy, not to say they've had Schlittler on the ropes, because I don't think it's quite been that, but you know, if this were football time of possession, if this were hockey shots on goal, I mean, the Blue Jays, they're doing the things they want to do, that they set out to do before the game. But Joe, they haven't been able to pay it off with that one hit with runners in scoring position.
And that was the biggest at bat we've seen right there from Okamoto. 2 on, nobody out, pitcher struggling, mound visit by the pitching coach. Everything is going in your favor, and it takes one pitch to get 2 outs. And Schlittler is back right where he wants to be. There's a sinker inside on Okamoto, and that's a tough pitch to get inside of and keep in the air.
Now he's way out in front of Jesus Sanchez. 0-2. Sanchez 0 for 2 today.
Schlittler, not a huge ground ball pitcher. He gets his ground balls, but that sinker is probably the best pitch to do it with, and that's what he turned to there.
Couple of shakes. Now has the one he wants from Ascara. Sent foul, back out of play. What the Blue Jays are doing, to use another sports analogy, is like jab, jab, jab. They're doing all that. They're scoring points, but they need that big uppercut. They haven't been able to get that today, but maybe Sanchez is up to the task here. Not in this at bat. Schlittler gets him and lets out a big yell as he gets out of a jam, and it keeps this game tied.
Zoo on the off day, and once fans were visiting noticed them, they started following them throughout the property. A zoo official then swooped in, picked the families up on golf carts, and they spent the rest of the day getting a personalized guided tour of the zoo. Now, Gosman got a big kick out of the giraffes, Hoffman told me. He was mesmerized by a 10-foot polar bear. Hoffman told me afterward, it is really important for us to get away from the field, to clear our heads, and you know what, we can benefit from a reset. Well, certainly happening this afternoon with Kevin Gosman. Guys.
Hazel, thank you. Both very devoted dads. We get a chance to see a little bit of that here and there. Kevin's got 2 kids. Jeff has 4, right? I think Jeff has 4 kids. So a good, fun off day at the zoo. We've all done that. A time or two.
Blue and
Jay. How about that? What are the odds? Tied at 1, top 6, and top of the order for the Yankees. Ben Rice 0 for 2. One run, just 1 hit for the Yankees. They've left 2. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for the Blue Jays. They've left 6. That's really the story of the game, is the bend but don't break that we have seen from Cam Schlittler so far. 2-0 swing and a miss at a splitter, 2-1.
Rice had not seen a ton of pitches today in his first 2 at-bats, so there's not a whole lot to go off of, but again, he knows it's 2 pitches. He's going to sit on 1. Clearly he was wrong there, looking for the heater.
Another swing and miss at a split, 2-2.
This is where that chess match, that 3rd time through the batting order, the hitter should have a lot of information on you. You certainly know how you want to attack the hitter, but with that swing, I think you got to come back with the same pitch.
He did, and it's grounded down to first. McAdoo will make the play unassisted.
Hit a grand slam with your next project and head to your local Home Hardware. With over 1,000 locations across Canada, Home Hardware is locally owned, genuinely Canadian.
Great day, good baseball game here between the Blue Jays and Yankees, who always seem to play interesting games against one another. Here's Jason Dominguez, who homered in the 4th for the Yankees' only run of the afternoon. Man, he just keeps getting them to swing and miss, and sometimes it's a cliche. He only made 1 mistake, but he might have only made 1 mistake today. He left that splitter up in the zone to Dominguez and hit it out. Other than that, they've been swinging and missing all day.
Well, we talked about that previous matchup against Cam Schlittler, and he went 7 innings, only giving up 2 runs. But how do you beat Cam Schlittler? You pitch a little bit better. Trey Savage went 6 scoreless innings that day. So Gosman trying to outpitch Schlittler on this afternoon.
Fastball at the knees to freeze him and get him. That's veteran young player baseball right there.
And this is what I'm talking about. 3rd time through the order, you would think advantage hitter, but you can clearly see Dominguez, all he has on his mind is the splitter, and the fastball is right by him.
Number 6 on the afternoon for Gosman, and here's Bellinger 0 for 2. Just off the corner, 1-1 the count.
So Valenzuela coming in right there. You saw the setup. He missed again, arm side away, but he's come in a number of times to Bellinger. You just got to be careful that Cody doesn't look for that pitch and just turn and burn to cheat to get to it. Coming in there again. So they like the idea because they feel like they can tie him up. But a veteran hitter like him, we know he hits very well here at the Rogers Center. Will he do that? Now 2 strikes, it's a little bit more difficult.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the base is empty. Just got a piece of the split to stay alive.
That's why these are such intriguing matchups to watch, especially when you get deep into the ball game. Good veteran pitcher against a good veteran hitter.
And another foul off.
You like what you're seeing if you're Gosman from Bellinger. If I'm Valenzuela back there, the fastball was beating him. The splitter he's got no chance on the way he's committed. Do you throw another one? I probably would, only because I'm afraid he's the guy that might get to a fastball.
If he does throw a fastball, he threw one down for a called strike to Dominguez, but against Bellinger, you want it up and out of the zone?
I would think so, if not on the inner part, because it did look like he was beating him. But again, the threat he is you just can't make a mistake. That's the pressure he puts on you.
In the air to left, Sanchez coming over. It's dropping and it's foul.
It's a good thing this ball landed foul because Jesus Sanchez was not getting to it.
That would have been 2 bases probably had it landed fair. 90 pitches now for Gosman.
Cody Bellinger is getting an extra few seconds right here when you're running hard out of the box like that. It's been a long at bat. You don't think of the batter needing a breather, but he looks like he's the one that needs the breather right now.
Every batter gets 1 timeout per plate appearance. Now the pitch clock running again. And the 2-2 again. Bounced up the middle, right at Jimenez. And Gosman sets down the Yankees in order again. What an afternoon he is having. 6 outstanding innings, just 1 run on 1 hit against the New York Yankees. Going to the bottom of the 6th, Gosman keeping his team in it. This game is tied at 1. And now the championship rings are finally yours to wear. On Saturday, July 18th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a set of 92 and 93 World Series replica rings. Don't forget to arrive early for the unveiling of the Joe Carter statue. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/tickets. Looking forward to seeing that statue. It's Joe Carter. It commemorates really both World Series championships, but if you had to pick one image of that era, obviously Joe Carter would be the guy. Joe might be watching. He tunes in every now and again.
Well, when you think Blue Jays baseball, Blue Jays World Series championships, that's the first name certainly that comes. And for the younger crowd, they're looking for somebody else as close as they got last year.
Ernie Clement 1 for 2, a base hit to right and a line out to center. Brandon Valenzuela and Yohendrick Pinango after him. Clement lifts one to left center field, but Spencer Jones there for the out. And the bullpen up again for the Yankees. This time, though, it's a left-hander, Brent Hedrick, who pitched in last night's game. They could be looking at Pinango, who's on deck right now. Valenzuela, a switch hitter, will step in now against Schlittler. Valenzuela has struck out and walked. And there's one of those rare curveballs.
And as a hitter, I think Brandon was just looking up at the scoreboard thinking, what was that? He saw curveball. Yeah, I don't see too many of those when you're gearing up for the heat.
bangs it to right for a base hit. And let's keep an eye on Aaron Boone here.
There's the cut fastball, gets in on him just a bit, but he's got enough of it to get over Jazz Chisholm's head and into right field.
No sign of Boone coming out, so he's got a lefty up, but he is going to let Schlittler face Pinango. Pinango's had 2 good plate appearances today, a walk and a double.
And it was Hedrick that faced Pinango last night when he was pinch hitting.
Down the third base line, foul, and back out of play.
I would say if you're the Blue Jays, you're happy with this matchup right here.
I would have thought he would have made the move here.
Yep.
A hole on the right side with Rice holding Valenzuela on at first. Although with this velocity, a little bit tougher to pull a guy like Schlittler. And in fact, we did see Pinango go down the left field line for his double. Two balls and a strike. He has looked very comfortable all day today against Schlittler.
Yeah. Sometimes that cutter from Schlittler, like that one, will go down almost more like a slider as opposed to the cutter that came in on Valenzuela.
Another good take, and it's 3-1 as Schlittler looks down behind him, down on the mound after releasing that pitch. Maybe caught a spike or something.
You see how that one looked, though, too. More like a slider.
Yeah.
Haven't seen many shaped like that today. Uh-oh.
Well, hello.
Hey, hey.
Hopper up the middle for 1 and 2. The Yankees turn their second double play in as many innings. And once again, the Blue Jays with an opportunity but cannot cash in. Tomorrow for Junior Jays Sundays, presented by Ontario Honda Dealers. Outdoor programming kicks off at 10:30 in the morning with activities, inflatables, mascot meet and greets, and more. Visit BlueJays.com/promotions for tickets. Have not looked ahead. Hopefully the weather tomorrow will be a little bit or a lot like today. I think you said a little bit cooler, right? A nice day, but a little bit cooler tomorrow. What a day today. Spectacular. Great shots from the drone cam all weekend long. And it's a 1-1 ball game going to the 7th inning. Kevin Gausman back on the mound as Pete Walker makes his first phone call of the afternoon. So we'll see who is about to get up out of the bullpen. Gausman enters this inning at 91 pitches. The batter, Paul Goldschmidt. Only slider missing down and away.
Only seen a handful of the sliders today. Tossed a couple to Caballero on his last at bat. Just a little bit of a different look. And when you're going to throw it, I think if you're Kevin Gausman, you make sure you throw it where you did. It's almost more of just a purpose pitch. Try to get that first pitch swing, but if not, not where it's going to hurt you. Not at this point in the game.
Tried a 2-0 split, and he missed just low to fall behind 3-0 as Tommy Nance has been told to get up and start getting loose just in case.
Now, Tommy Nance is a good ground ball pitcher. We saw him up last night, and I think if there is trouble, that could be why you want to go to a guy like Nance.
Like a mid-inning, get out, get a double play, get out of a jam kind of guy. John Schneider prefers to give Tyler Rogers a clean inning, a full inning, and prefers to give Jeff Hoffman a clean inning. This is popped up, and it's going to stay in play in foul territory. And we could hear McAdoo calling for it up here.
That is exactly what you want to hear, too, if you're the catcher. We've seen so many of these misplayed by the Blue Jays this year. Valenzuela is a catcher. Your job is to go get it. But as soon as you hear your corner infielder call you off, that's music to your ears. Nice job by McAdoo taking charge.
Getting used to the big leagues, getting used to a position he has played before, but not as much as third base. He's played the third base is his most frequently played position. He's only played second and first here in the big leagues, but you got to take the playing time where it's available. Here's Chisholm, a strikeout and a walk. 1-1. We talked about this in New York. Chisholm will take another teammate's bat to change his luck. He'll also wear teammates' pants to change his luck. He was wearing Giancarlo Stanton's for a while. I'm guessing the ones he's wearing now are not his. Those could definitely be Stanton's. Little baggy.
They come in all shapes and sizes, though, don't they? Baseball players have changed the uniform code a little bit. For years way back, of course, the pants were high. You saw a lot of the stirrup socks like you see right there, and then the PK. I remember during most of my time that the pants all the way down was the thing. Now not only are they back up, they're up and over your knee.
Above the knees, yeah. Gausman has now thrown more pitches today than he has in any other start this season. 101. The deepest he's gone into a game is 6 2/3. He's done that twice. And out away from matching that here today. Ground ball to Jimenez. On to first in time for out number 2.
Well, Kevin made some very good pitches in that at bat. He was really painting that outside corner a couple earlier in the at bat. Chisholm didn't necessarily love the calls, but he stays out there, and there's just not much you can do when you locate a fastball off the outside edge.
He has still only given up the one hit today, the home run to Dominguez back in the 4th. Looks like Chisholm's got something going on. That is not his normal gait. Here's Spencer Jones. Keep an eye on that and see if Chisholm is back on the field defensively, but that didn't look great.
And this is where you have to be careful too. We know the power that this guy has. He's got a lot of swing and miss too, but I wouldn't doubt he just goes all splitters to him right here. It's been such a good pitch today.
Good spot for that one, and he's fouled off 0-2.
I think if he throws 4 more of those, he'll strike him out before he walks him. Go with your bread and butter.
Pete Walker has to be loving what he has been seeing from his veteran Kevin Gausman today. He got him. Stayed with the split. What an afternoon for Kevin Gausman. 7 innings and just 1 hit allowed, and a standing ovation here at Rogers Center. Build your own Blue Jays buddy piece by piece with a Potato Head specialty ticket. On June 25th, specialty ticket purchasers will receive a Blue Jays Potato Head. Buy your specialty tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. Well, some kind of performance today from Kevin Gausman. Could the Blue Jays find a way to take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th? It'll be McAdoo, Jimenez, and Springer, 8, 9, and 1. Schlittler is still on the mound. Hedrick is up again in the pen. Grounded out to second. Chisholm, who did indeed come back on the field despite not looking great doing it, makes the play. 1 down. And what a great scene as Kevin Gausman came off the mound, fired up, and well he should be. That is an outstanding performance today. Again, just 1 hit allowed. The home run to Dominguez back in the 4th, done for the day. The handshake from the skipper. Tremendous stuff today from Gausman.
It looked like as good a splitter as we have seen all season long.
Jimenez trying to bunt for a base hit. This might work out. Safe. Grabbed his left hand or wrist. And all of a sudden it has gotten very quiet here at Rogers Center, and here come John Schneider and Jose Ministral, and Jimenez is in some pain.
Cam Schlittler made an outstanding play to get this ball on one hop, but Jimenez getting down that line just beat him to the bag. Thought Schlittler had a chance to catch this ball, but he let it bounce. But going in with that left hand, he's leading with his left hand into the bag right there.
Yep, just kind of a rough landing on the corner of the base right there.
We know the bases are bigger now, but they're all so firm. They're hard, so there's not a lot of give.
Able to stay in the game. So the go-ahead run at first with one out in the bottom of the seventh, and here's Springer. With Hedrick up and Lucas next, feels like this could be last batter one way or another for Schlittler, who's gotten a key double play each of the last 2 innings. Springer with a bouncer hit to the right side. Chisholm from shallow right will throw him out for the second out as Jimenez takes second. Meanwhile, Tyler Rogers doing his thing out of the Blue Jay bullpen. And Aaron Boone is going to leave Schlittler. He's had a couple of opportunities, left-handed bats. Maybe he doesn't want to see Alejandro Kirk coming into this game.
Well, he's believing in his guy out there, and there's really no reason that Cam Schlittler's giving you to not believe in him right here.
Fernando Cruz joins Hedrick. Lucas 0 for 2, and he walked his last time up. Jimenez still holding that wrist, still shaking it, wringing it out every now and again. Outside, a ball and a strike on Lucas.
Jimenez doing a great job getting a good secondary lead right here. As soon as you know the pitcher is going home, make sure you get out there because every little bit counts. On a base hit, that can be the difference in safe and out at the plate.
Swung on and missed, 1-2.
Caballero, the shortstop, came in behind right there, identifying that Jimenez is getting a huge secondary.
Jimenez took the sliding glove off. Now he's putting it back on. As Lucas strikes out to end the inning. Schlittler gets out of it again, and through 7 it is still tied at 1. And time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie and Caleb. Well, you can't do much better than Kevin Gausman did today. Again, just 1 hit allowed in 7 innings. That was the solo home run for Jason Dominguez. Walked 2, struck out 7. A ton of swing and a miss, as you just heard Jamie and Caleb talking about on the splitter. gave the Blue Jays everything they could have asked for.
It starts with being in the zone with his four-seam fastball. That's, to me, what gets hitters in swing mode, but the splitter was as good as we have seen it. And as Caleb said right there, sometimes it's the environment, the elements, the wind, the roof is open today. We see the flags blowing pretty hard. That can impact that splitter in a good way, and I think Kevin had as good a splitter as we've seen.
A little bit breezy here at the ballpark on this beautiful Saturday. Tyler Rogers now on the mound to face the bottom third of the Yankee lineup, beginning with Jose Caballero. Caballero 0 for 2, struck out swinging and looking against Gausman. Rogers worked a 3-up, 3-down 8th inning in last night's game.
Rogers is another one that I think John Schneider likes to use to start an inning. You bring a guy like him in with runners on, and we know that there's a lot of soft contact and crazy things can happen still. Give him that fresh, clean slate.
Almost every single appearance he's made this year has been exactly 1 inning. Rarely less, rarely more. One of the reasons you can use him so often is he is very efficient. He averages about 13 pitches per inning. And you'll see a lot of guys averaging 15, 16, 17. Swing and a miss. He gets Caballero. 74-mile-an-hour slider.
Sinker, 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 sinker. Then when you mix that slider in there, it's such a different look. And from down there, it's basically rising up and away from a right-handed batter.
Not an illusion.
It's actually rising. Small physics class going on here.
Here's Ryan McMahon. McMahon has walked and been thrown out trying to steal, and he's also flied out. You know, Mike Petriello, who you know well, does great stuff on Blue Jay Central and The Fan, talked about something new they've got on StatCast. You can now tell if hitters are early or late. They can measure it. And you would think, well, guys are way out in front of this stuff because it's 82 or it's 74. Not so fast, my friend. 0-2 on McMahon. The pitcher against whom hitters are late more often than anybody else in the major leagues is this guy. And it breaks your brain to think that. But they can't pick it up. They want to try to find it. Where's it coming from? And by the time their brain processes all that, they're late on it, even though it's only 82 miles an hour.
That is fascinating, isn't it? I mean, that's the game of baseball in a nutshell. So many different intricacies. You just can't explain.
You would guess the opposite.
Yeah. And you mentioned it's got to be just the indecision of hitters and trying to pick up the baseball and picking it up so late. And that's why you get all that soft contact, too, that we talk about. Beating balls into the ground, not squaring them up.
You can just feel hitters fouling off a pitch and stepping out of the box and saying, I'm not having any fun. I'm not having any fun right now.
That swing right there, I think that was one of those late ones you're referring to.
Slash down the left field line, but it's a foul ball. Sanchez over to play it, but third base umpire John Tumpane making the call. That is foul.
Tumpane's pretty emphatic with this call. We saw that strike 3 call yesterday, that big sword that he fires down there.
Boy, this had a lot of slice.
A lot of slice off the bat of the left-handed batter. And that was not foul by much, and I think that's why Tumpane was emphatic with his call. Love it. Make sure everybody in the ballpark knows.
So it remains 1-2 on McMahon. Up and in. Top back towards the mound. Rogers the play. 2 down. Better Together is brought to you by Heinz, because a hot dog just isn't a hot dog without Heinz. Two down here in the top of the 8th inning. Rogers has gotten the first two. And here's the number 9 hitter, J.C. Escarra. There are no left-handed bats on the Yankee bench today. 4 right-handed bats. Escarra doesn't hit much, although he had a double last night, but Aaron Boone leaving him in there right now. Just low, and a challenge from Valenzuela. Just low. Blue Jays have 1 remaining.
It's getting late and you do lose one, but I'm just thinking with nobody on base, 2 outs, you've got the number 9 hitter at the plate. It's not a hitter that you're real afraid of. Probably thinking twice about that next time if you're Valenzuela.
Grounded up the middle and through into center field. It's a base hit.
Escarra must have heard me. Didn't like what I had to say.
Pete Walker on the phone. A pinch runner coming out for the Yankees now as Anthony Volpe is going to run for Escarra. And now Ben Rice, dangerous leadoff man, 18 home runs, and a guy who saw Rogers last night, grounded out against him. On the outside corner, a called strike, 0-1. Blue Jays might have gotten a break on that one, but again, the Yankees are out of challenges. Runner goes, and it's hit sharply into right field for a base hit. And Volpe will come around to third on the single by Rice. Pitching decisions presented by Sage, official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. We see Mason Fluharty, Joe, getting up in the pen.
Well, Tyler Rogers trying to get out of this inning, but there is a very dangerous left-handed hitter looming on deck, so he is going to have to hurry if it's for Bellinger. After Goldschmidt, 2 more lefties, but we'll see how fast Mason has to get going.
And you can see Valenzuela took a very slow stroll out to the mound to have a conversation with Rogers. Dominguez is at the plate right now. He's a switch hitter, but a better hitter from this side of the plate, from the left side of the plate.
It makes it a tough decision for the Blue Jays and John Schneider. You've got Fluharty down there, but you also have one of your best on the mound right now, and I think in any time when the game is on the line like this, you'll take almost your best against the other team, and Tyler Rogers is someone that you can trust.
So first and third, 2 outs. Rogers against Dominguez. Just off the corner, ball 1. Now high, 2-0. And as you mentioned, Cody Bellinger, who hits lefties extremely well for a left-handed batter, for anybody really, is on deck. Pete Walker going back to the phone. This is getting tighter and tighter. There's a much-needed strike, and it's 2-1 right at the top of the zone. Great stop by McAdoo to save a run. what a play by the rookie Charles McAdoo. A diving stop over at first. To the bag he goes, and it's still tied at 1.
All square late.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Dominguez and Okamoto each with solo home runs. That is it for the scoring today. And for the second day in a row, Aaron Boone calls upon one of his best, Fernando Cruz.
Fernando Cruz is a high strikeout pitcher. He is pitching in his 34th game of the season. That ERA just over 2. You see the whip just over 1. They did get a run off him last night after he walked a batter. That can be an issue for him at times. Ernie Clement hit an RBI double, just a pop-up down that right field line to cash in an insurance run for the Blue Jays.
Ali Sanchez now in to catch. And Volpe is staying in the game at short. That has moved Caballero out to right, so Jason Dominguez is out of the game. Splitter off the corner, 1-1 on Okamoto. The corner again, ball 2. So Dominguez out of the game, his homer, the only run today for the Yankees. Three balls and a strike on Okamoto. After Okamoto, it'll be Jesus Sanchez and Ernie Clement. And a fastball in for a strike. Even 3-1 with a guy like Cruz, you're kind of thinking splitter.
Yeah. I think Okamoto missed the memo right there. If he was looking for that heater, we know how good he is against fastballs.
Middle, too. Is a good take on a splitter down, not to offer at that, and that's ball 4.
I don't know how you don't offer at it, but it worked out.
Now Jesus Sanchez, no pinch runner coming out for Okamoto. Sometimes you see it when the go-ahead run gets to second. Maybe the odds go up a little bit. We'll keep an eye on that. Sanchez 0 for 3. Where is it? Sanchez couldn't find it, and it was stuck somewhere before it dropped down to the dirt, and he found it.
If Okamoto saw that reaction earlier, he'd have taken off. But watch Sanchez. No idea for a second or two.
And John Schneider's got a question for Ramon de Jesus. Did that ball lodge? Right. If it lodged in his equipment, I think that's 90 feet.
It's a base. Dead ball.
Yeah.
Now it lodged and came out. Does that matter? I think they could ask the other umpires at least, but.
And Schneider appeared to be pointing to the other umpires, like maybe ask them. It's underneath the bottom of his chest protector.
Yep.
There you can see it's inside his chest protector. He doesn't know where it is, and then it falls out and rolls down his leg.
I'm guessing the fact that it came out, and it's not like he pushed it, it came out naturally.
Right. Yeah.
Because if it stays in there, yes, that's a dead ball and a base for the runner.
Meanwhile, it's 2-0 on Sanchez. Ball 3. Louis Varland's up in the pen, looking on right now. You give Jesus a green light here?
I do, because he's got that damage potential. Yes, you've got a pitcher struggling with the plate, but if he grooves one right here.
He didn't groove it. He walked him. And it's 2 on with nobody out. Here comes Matt Blake, the pitching coach. And here comes Miles Straw, but he's going to run not for Okamoto at second. He's going to run for Sanchez at first.
And this might just have to do more with the positional alignment too, where that puts his team defensively if the game stays tied or if they go ahead here. If the game stays tied, you still want to have Okamoto's bat in this lineup.
John Schneider quoted for us Okamoto's sprint speed on the 2 fielders' choices last night. 28.7 feet per second, as he told us, which is above average. Okamoto stays. Okamoto is faster than Sanchez, it would appear. So he will stay. Straws at first, nobody out. They're in on the corners for Clement, who squares. Think Ernie is serious about this?
He squared awfully early, so I think he's serious. I'm not sure I would be. You love to move a runner right here, but I also love Ernie swinging the bat.
He's serious about it, but he's popped it up. And he cannot advance the runners.
I'm just not sure how often Ernie is called upon to do that. We certainly don't see it very much, and it's a guy that's swinging the bat pretty well. I'd like to just see him let it go, but on the other side, you're asked to get a bunt down. You got to get a bunt down.
Boy, have the Blue Jays left some opportunities out there today. A couple of double plays, that bunt. They are 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. All day long, it seems like they've had chances. The only 3-up, 3-down inning was the first. And a splitter that Valenzuela swings over the top of. It's 0-1. So 4 for 7 last night. That's the good news. 1 for 8 today. That's the bad news. But Valenzuela's got a chance to change the narrative. A ball and a strike on the Blue Jay catcher. And he takes a splitter for a strike. 1-2. Hedrick up yet again, and he's joined by Blackburn, the right-hander. Piñango's the on-deck hitter. Down and in. He's had some big moments. Had the walk-off a few days ago. Has hit a couple of home runs late in games. Trying to give the Blue Jays the lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Play on at second, and Okamoto back in ahead of the throw. Now the 2-2, and it's up and away, a full count. It's that narrow strip of sunlight you can see late afternoon here. The shadows a factor. Three-two pitch, swung on and missed for out number 2.
Cruz Cruz waited for the last one to throw one of his best ones. That splitter down in the zone. It's just a tough one to lay off, and you're not getting much of it.
So a couple of walks to begin the bottom of the 8th inning, but then a bunt that was popped up and a strikeout. You can see how devastating that splitter of Cruz's is from those numbers. He will stay to face Piñango, who has walked, doubled, and grounded into a double play. Ball 1. Ali Sanchez has to be very active behind the plate with a splitter like this coming at him.
Uses that pitch a lot, and as a catcher, anytime you call a secondary pitch, you have to anticipate it being in the dirt.
Taken just low, boy, against Schlittler, and now on that pitch as well. Piñango's been very patient here today. That's the face of frustration right there for Ernie Clement, unable to advance the runners. Now hoping Piñango can get Okamoto in. 3-0.
It's as though Cruz gets himself in trouble with the walks. They can get him in trouble, but then his stuff is good enough to usually get out of it, and that's why his overall numbers are still pretty good.
Ball 4 to load him up. 3 walks in the inning. And here comes Charles McAdoo.
Well, you hope McAdoo, a young hitter in this situation, can really slow things down and get a good pitch to hit.
No Kirk. Alejandro Kirk on the bench today. To get creative defensively, but you could do it. It would be complicated, but you could do it. So Aaron Boone leaving Cruz and John Schneider leaving McAdoo. And the 0-1 outside. Got to be tough for a guy with a couple of weeks in the big leagues to keep that heart rate where he wants it, right?
And you bring up another really good point. We all know how good a hitter Alejandro Kirk is, but he's also very disciplined against a pitcher right now that is struggling to find the zone, as opposed to a young hitter that might be a little aggressive.
Popped up, foul territory. They're racing over, and the catch is made by Rice. And again, the Blue Jays will leave the bases loaded. They have now stranded 10 runners in this game. And it is still tied at 1. You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. Time is running out, so if you're in Alberta, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, or Ontario, get your tickets now at bluejays.com/5050. And we are back with you tomorrow to wrap up this series. The Blue Jays and the Yankees one more time. It'll be Will Warren for the Yankees and Patrick Corbin for the Blue Jays, and a smiling Ernie Clement for the Blue Jays as well. Although Ernie was not smiling that bottom of the 8th inning, couldn't get a bunt down. The Blue Jays leave the bases loaded. So instead of Arlen maybe coming in to try to nail down a save, he is coming in a tie game here in the top of the 9th.
Came in and earned his 12th save of the season last night, and he got the Yankees 1, 2, 3, Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Chisholm. He will face the same 3 hitters here today, just in a little bit of a different order.
Bellinger 0 for 3. And a foul back to our left. It's 0-1. Piñango has shifted over to left. Remember, Sanchez was lifted for a pinch runner. Miles Straw's in center. Lucas moves from center to right. This is softly hit, and it's going to get down for a base hit in front of Straw, and Bellinger is aboard.
Well, tricky time of day with these shadows. Not sure how well Miles picked up this baseball. He's coming. He thought he'd come, but he's also probably thinking about the situation of the game. This is not a time when you can come and dive for a ball and miss it, so he's playing it the safe route.
Goldschmidt goes around, and it's 0-1. And a drive to deep left field. Goldschmidt has hit it out. A 2-run home run to give the Yankees the lead here in the top of the ninth.
Louis Varland has been so good this season. Got ahead of Goldschmidt, came back with a curveball, but it just was not one of his better curveballs. Backed up and stayed a middle in to a very dangerous hitter that's done that a lot in his career.
That is the first home run given up this year by Louis Varland. Goldschmidt having a great season for the Yankees, and with Judge, Stanton, now Grisham all out. Boy, have they needed that. A couple of strikes on Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Not a whole lot of movement. We have seen this from Goldschmidt for years. Just barely moves that front foot, and he gets the barrel to it. He came back to the Yankees on a one-year deal worth $4 million. He was more of a bench-type player, but he's getting more and more at-bats, as you noted, with all of these injuries. He'll play first base tomorrow, I'm sure, with Patrick Corbin, the lefty, on the mound for the Blue Jays. He and Rice will bounce back and forth as DH and first baseman.
Chisholm gets one in the air to pretty deep right center, but Straw's going to run it down for the first out. Boy, from it appearing for a few moments like the Blue Jays were on the verge maybe of taking the lead in the bottom of the eighth, to now the Yankees having it. And again, you look back at the entirety of this game, all the chances the Blue Jays had, and unable to really break through. Spencer Jones with a ground ball to second. 2 down. So now they'll need at least 2 in the bottom of the ninth, with the scheduled hitters Andres Jimenez, George Springer, and Nathan Lucas, and David Bednar up in the pen for the Yankees. The batter, Jose Caballero. And it's popped out of play, 0-2. Those two guys not in the lineup here today. Kurt will be tomorrow. Hopefully Guerrero will be. He swung at it. It hit him, but he swung at it.
Strike 3.
Yeah, so he's walking down to first, but that's a strikeout.
You're out.
You swung at it. So Varland and the Blue Jays coming off the field. Aaron Boone is looking for a clarification, but unless he fouled it off, it looked like he swung at it and it hit him. But what we know for sure, Paul Goldschmidt is homered, and the Yankees lead. Get your tickets today at BlueJays.com/tickets. Now the Blue Jays need 2 to tie, 3 to win here in the bottom of the 9th after the Goldschmidt home run in the top half of the inning. And they'll be facing the Yankee closer, David Bednar.
David Bednar had a tough start to the season, been a little bit better lately, starting around the end of May and into the month of June. 13 saves on the season. He's got that ERA under 4, but that whip is still just under 1.5. 12 walks and 33 strikeouts, but he's allowed a hit an inning essentially. 27 hits in his 27 2/3 innings.
Andres Jimenez, George Springer, and Nathan Lucas coming up for the Blue Jays. That'll come in low for ball 1. Remember, the Yankees are out of ABS challenges, as you can see there on the scorebook bottom right of your screen. The Blue Jays still have 1 remaining, and no point in saving it now. Anything close, got to use it. And there it is. Jimenez will use it. It was close. Let's see if it goes his way. It does not. It is a strike. So now the Blue Jays are out of challenges. Two balls and a strike. That one almost hit him. That splitter down and in. Garland probably thinking about that pitch, that knuckle curveball that's been such a good pitch for him this year, but just caught too much of the plate. Goldschmidt hit it out. It's a pro's pro right there, and maybe a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done.
Closing in on 400 home runs in his career. That was number 381. 16 big league seasons for Paul Goldschmidt.
Swing and a miss. Out number 1. Well, if the Blue Jays don't win this one, this is going to fall into the bucket of one that got away.
Yeah. Lots of chances. They did what they wanted to do, I think, with their offensive approach against Cam Schlittler. Just couldn't finish off those innings.
Springer not happy with that call, but again, the Blue Jays out of challenges now, so that's ball 1, or strike 1, I should say. Looked like it was outside, but it's strike 1. That one definitely there. 0-2. This is a tomorrow thought, but you hate to lose the game where you use your best leverage relievers, because now Rogers and Varland have pitched 2 days in a row, so in all likelihood unavailable tomorrow. Two down.
That is certainly the consequence when you use them and don't win, but at the same time, you got to go for the win that's in front of you.
Absolutely.
And it didn't work. And I think you go back, well, to a lot of innings, but especially the questions that'll be asked is in the 8th inning there. You've got Alejandro Kirk on the bench.
Yeah.
He wasn't used. And the fact that, Ernie Clement has sacrificed bunts in his career. It's just not usually what he's doing right now, especially this year, the way he's swinging the bat.
So the Blue Jays down to their final out. Here is Nathan Lucas. Down the left field line, but headed for the seats out of play. Seven or six, I should say, very close games between these two teams this year. Every single one of them has been within 2 runs in the 8th inning or later. 1-2. And he stays alive. Trying to get on to get Okamoto up there is the tying run. Chased one in the dirt, and that is going to do it. The Blue Jays unable to capitalize time after time today. Left too many men on base, and then Paul Goldschmidt with the decisive blow, a 2-run homer in the top of the 9th, and the Yankees even up the series.
Well, the offensive approach by the Blue Jays looked pretty decent all day against a very tough pitcher, and they had their chances but just could not finish some of those innings off by punching some runs across. And in the end, it's Louis Varland giving up the 2-run homer to Paul Goldschmidt. But looking back at the offense, that's what they're going to see once again after a big one last night. The emotions the other way today.
And a shame just to waste that caliber of an effort from Kevin Gausman here today, who was brilliant this afternoon. But the Blue Jays lose the game 3-1. The rubber match of the series coming your way tomorrow. Time now for Blue Jays Central with Jamie Campbell and Caleb Joseph.